Charlotte Sports Live's Mike Lissette. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for braving the cold temperatures and finally getting back on the field after a bye week. And we were just talking about it. How does the team feel about Thielen and Brooks taking the field today?
Oh, they're excited. I mean, this is what Dave Canales has been waiting for ever since really the start of the season. He finally has all his toys in his toy box to kind of go and see how things work. You couple that with the fact that Bryce Young is very close to hitting his stride. This could be Carolina at its best today, and they're going to need it because they're playing the best team in the NFL, and the Kansas City Chiefs, 9-1. They're coming off a loss, and they're mad, and that could spell trouble for Carolina.
That was the next question, Mike. This is a Chiefs team where we don't know what we're going to get right now, but, you know, some people think that this could be one of those get-back games for them to get everything going as they head to the postseason.
Absolutely. I think there's a part of Dave Canales, although he will never admit it, that wishes that the Chiefs were able to beat the Bills to stay undefeated. That way, Carolina maybe could have snuck up on them today and gotten a win. There's no sneaking on Kansas City today. They are angry. They looked back on last week's loss and said, you know what, this is the things that we have to clean up. But here's the bottom line. When you look at this Kansas City Chiefs team, yes, they are the two-time defending Super Bowl champion, but they're not a juggernaut. They tend to turn the ball over. They're winning games by figuring out how to win rather than flat-out dominating, and that could be something that Carolina could take advantage of. In the end, if I'm Dave Canales, the pregame speech is this. They put on pants just like you. They're a football team. I don't need you to be intimidated. Yeah, they may have won in the past, but this is about today. That's how I would approach it if I were Dave Canales. Just look at it as another team, another game, and let the cards fall as they may.
Mike Lissette's getting people ready to run out of the tunnel and take on the Chiefs. Mike, who has the tougher task today? Is it the offense scoring points, or is it that defense trying to stop all those weapons? And we know Jason Kelce's in town, so that means, you know, Travis may want to show out for his fam.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they both have a tough task. I mean, I will say the one thing is this. I mean, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, 15 touchdowns this year, but 11 interceptions. That's an area where Carolina can definitely expose them. Their defense, on the other hand, in Kansas City, that's going to give Carolina all types of problems. They're a little weak in terms of the passing attack, but that hasn't exactly been Carolina's strength. So I think on both sides of the ball, there are no breaks for the Panthers.
And I know we've been waiting for the Panthers to get back to Bank of America Stadium. We've also been waiting for our Bbkl team to get back to the stadium as well. Mike, what do you guys have coming up today at 10 o'clock?
We might be waiting because it's tough getting in today. The traffic is backing up already at this point in the morning. But a lot of good stuff actually coming up. We are going to talk to Adam Thielen, who, as you mentioned before, is coming back from an injury. The story that I did, very interesting. Right now, the Panthers are getting dressed. They're going to wear all black uniforms for this game. That was not by accident. Preparing for what jersey you wear for an NFL team is a challenge. And I talked about the process that goes into it, what things they have to avoid, certain limitations the league puts on them. It's a very interesting story, and that is what's coming up today on Black and Blue Kickoff Live.
All right, Mike, we're going to get you inside so you can get warmed up before the show, and we look forward to seeing you guys on Bbkl later on this morning.
Sounds good. See you then.
All right. Thanks, Mike and Brandon. The one thing that I'm sure our crew and the players
on the offensive line this morning.
Good morning, Caroline. Yeah, happy game day. And I'll tell you what, the Carolina Panthers have a lot of questions to answer the rest of the season, but the latest one is a doozy. What to do with Cade Mays? The answer for today, at least, you got to start the guy. When Ike Ekwonu went down for 2 games with an injury, the team shifted over to Brady Christensen from center. That allowed Mays to get another shot off the practice squad. He did not disappoint. In fact, he's not only been working well with Bryce Young, he has not allowed the defense to gobble him up. But here is where it gets tricky, as Ike is back for today's game with the Chiefs. Ultimately, Dave Canales said he has to stay with the hot hand.
Cade, who's played really...
Well, we are not the only ones who think highly of Mays' play of late. In Germany, the big man did his job. Pro Football Focus ranked Mays as the best pass blocker in Week 9. didn't allow anyone to pressure Young the entire game. The same goes, though, for the other three Panthers who had high overall grades as well. Robert Hunt was the overall best-ranked player, then Josie Jewell, but then two more offensive linemen in Taylor Moton and Damian Lewis. DJ Wanham's debut on defense was ranked 5th, but we are focusing on the big guys on the offense right now. Which then leaves, what about Brady Christensen? Well, we know the guy is very versatile. He can play just about anywhere on the offensive line. But what about here in Carolina? Is this his home? We know this is his contract year. Guys, he's going to get paid. We know that, but we don't know where ultimately he'll end up next season. What do you guys think?
Thanks.
Back on Black and Blue Kickoff Live, where we're wondering, is there an upset brewing in the Queen City? This will be the 8th matchup between the Chiefs and Panthers, with KC leading the series 5-2. The last time these two met was in Week 9 of the 2020 season. It was an era 33-31 win for the Chiefs. Well, the Panthers do have a new member to their 53-man roster. It's Caleb Farley, and he is now a mainstay. The former first-round pick has been elevated from the practice squad the last 3 weeks, but now he's out of elevations. And the Panthers saw enough to make him a full-fledged roster member. Now, many of you out there know Farley's history. He made his name at Maiden High School before going to Virginia Tech. Now that he's made it to the big time, though, Farley says he's not about to stop, as he plans to continue to get better each and every day.
Well, I don't want to gas myself up.
Here's hoping for more success for that young man. Well, we all know getting ready for work is not easy in the morning. If you're like me, it's hard to decide what to wear. Well, now imagine if you got to pick what to wear for an entire football team. And now imagine you have to do it for 20 weeks. Let me tell you, folks, it's about as hard as it sounds. The Carolina Panthers went with an all-black look for this weekend's game with the Chiefs. Coincidence? Not a chance.
A few things went into it. First, huge opponent, right? Very exciting game here. We wanted to show up in what makes the players feel the best.
Choosing the right look is a process, and in the NFL, it's one that typically begins months before the start of the season. The front office is involved. The equipment manager is there too, and in the middle of all of it for the Panthers is their marketing director, Kaylin Karahalis.
It's pretty complicated, actually. We have to stay within the league's guidelines. They set some rules for us.
The first one benefits the home team. They get to pick first. If, say, the Panthers decide on a white jersey, their opponent must go with a color. From there, the teams then wait on league approval.
I think the league wants, to keep us all uniform, for lack of a better word, to keep, their structure around it, that teams can't just kind of go rogue and wear the same thing the whole season.
It sounds simple, but there are some additional limitations jersey planners have to work around. For example, each team is designated 2 main colors. The ones for Carolina are white and black. They can wear those jerseys anytime. However, it's a different story when it comes to their alternate blues.
We can wear it unlimited preseason, but in the season you can only wear it 3 times. So that kind of makes things challenging for us when we're determining, what we can wear and when we can wear it.
After jerseys have been selected, the rest of the look is typically decided closer to the game. Things like the color of the helmet or the pants or the socks. There's a lot of combinations. So many, in fact, the Panthers haven't even hit them all in their 30 years of existence.
White jersey, silver pants, white accessories with the silver helmet we've never worn, which is shocking to me that we haven't.
But what isn't shocking to Karahalis is the fans' true passion for fashion. In fact, over the years, it's taken on a life of its own via social media.
It shows how much people love this team and how much they want to see us and care about how we show up on Sunday.
This weekend, the Panthers certainly have the look. Now it's just a matter of getting the win. And believe it or not, there is a competitive aspect that goes into picking out the uniforms. For example, the Panthers went out of their way to pick white for next month's game with Dallas. We know the Cowboys love that color, and Carolina just wanted to throw them off their game. Guys, it's all about doing whatever you can do to get that competitive edge.
The more we know, thanks to Michael Assett, well, we know.
They are what Carolina yearns to be.
This is one of the toughest teams in National Football League history.
They are stars. They are winners. And oh yeah, now they're also mad.
And it's intercepted. The Bills are going to hand the Chiefs Loss number 1.
They're the two-time champs, and they could be the Panthers' toughest test this season.
This is about the continued progress.
But as a wise man once said, to be the man, woo, you gotta beat him. Black and Blue Kickoff Live starts now.
Woo! Who is tasked from the Panthers defense to actually stop Mahomes today?
Well, let me tell you something, Carla. It is going to be a tough challenge, perhaps one of the toughest challenges of the season. But let's be honest here. This is not Superman Patrick Mahomes from the past Super Bowls. This is a much more mortal Patrick Mahomes. Let's deep dive into the numbers right now and kind of check things out. As you see, Mahomes has thrown 15 touchdown passes this season, but he also has 11 interceptions. So the pass rush will have to step up and create some pressure. That's not going to be easy, though, as the Chiefs are one of the best in the NFL in not giving up sacks. In fact, they're second in the league with only 22. Ultimately, J.C. Horn says they'll have chances to create some turnovers against one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it.
A lot of opportunity.
Okay, so you know how sometimes really good teams can play down to the lesser teams? Some call it trap games. Chiefs and Mahomes, they don't do that. Look at the numbers for Patty this season against sub-500 teams. It's the 4 games he's played against those teams. He's averaged 259 passing yards per game with 73% of his passes completed. 7 total touchdowns, 4 picks. He was only sacked 9 times. Of note, though, in that New Orleans game they won, he didn't throw a touchdown at all. Now, in talking to Bryce Young, it sounds like he is a big fan of Patrick Mahomes. But one thing he does have on him, though, he didn't have 2 Super Bowls, but he does have a win streak going into this game, guys. The Panthers are looking to keep that going. Looking inside Bank of America Stadium as everyone gets set to go in this chilly fall Sunday morning. You got the national anthem practicing. You got Chuba Hubbard there. Panthers coming off a bye. And in this very situation, coming off a rest week, Carolina is just under 500 historically. They're 16-17. More recently, however, that record is 6-3 in the last 9 seasons. Let's see if they can muster some more of that magic against Mahomes today. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. Well, when's the last time you saw this beautiful work of art? Panthers not only breaking out the black-on-black uniform combo today, but also the old-school Panthers logo and script end zones. We saw it once last year. We have seen it consistently since the 2011 season. The team is celebrating, of course, 30 years in the NFL this season and has been dropping little notes of history throughout the campaign. Fun fact, the original outline of the OG logo was supposed to represent North and South Carolina. They ditched that in 2012 when they opted for the more streamlined logo like we have today. Carla said I have random facts, and right there, a random fact for you. Here's another one. The last time the Panthers played the guy we talked about before the break, Patrick Mahomes, they barely got the win. The Chiefs did. In that one, though, Mahomes threw 4 touchdown passes, one of which went to the boyfriend of the guy you in the booth up there will be talking about right now. How's that for a transition?
Yeah, we always love that, Mike.
That's not great, but maybe our picks will be. Let's start with Mike Lissette down on the field. Mike, who are you taking in today's game, and who is that bonus pick?
Look, the Chiefs are not the dominant team of the past, but I still think they're too strong for Carolina. And as far as my other game goes, the Eagles are going to lose again this season. I just don't think it's going to be against the Rams today. What do you guys think?